talk about Matt Drudge probably every day because you can't cover the news and not talk about Matt Drudge and his great team over there that are like updating every 2 minutes now, just stories I can't even keep track of it all. It's like a radio wonderland dream. I've got like 200 articles here I should cover. Problem is I'll go into one of them and go off on a 10-hour jag and not give the phone number out and take your calls. But getting back into the Clintons and Clinton running around raising money off poor black kids and keeping almost all of it for his fleet of jets and houses, and Hillary and all her crimes, not just Benghazi and all the new stuff, but all the things they did. I was a talk show host from 95 when Clinton had only been in for 2 years, right through 2000 when he left office. And I covered him 6 days a week. So I guess I was on the Drudge Report way back in the mid-90s, like 97, 98, when black helicopters would, come in and blow up buildings they'd secretly leased to terrorize the public and have psychological warfare people there gauging what Americans would do. I was breaking stuff like that. WorldNet Daily would pick it up. My website didn't look professional enough, to even be linked to, but they would pick up my article and my photos on WorldNet Daily. He'd link to that. So that's the kind of stuff that Jay Leno talked about as well, about black helicopters in our report, because it was pretty darn interesting. They were crashing in Houston and blowing stuff up in Kingsville and tried to bribe the police chief and then took our video at gunpoint, and that made the news. I mean, and the media would go, look at this crazy guy in Texas. He thinks black helicopters are after him. Except here's Jay Leno. I can't do a good imitation. Except there's one thing that's funny. It really did happen. Yeah. Because, 20 years ago, folks, if somebody in a town shot a burglar coming in their house, the national news would never cover that. Or if an abortion doctor got arrested for being a Satanist and eating dead babies, stories like that in the mid-90s, that would never be a national story because they wouldn't cover it nationally. So that's what I've been able to do after Drudge did it, but soon after, was cover news globally, just whatever I thought was interesting, whatever I thought exposed tyranny or promoted liberty. I would just, as a natural free will person with no agenda but freedom, report how I saw things, give my take on things, and really just report the truth of what was going on. No formal training. And Drudge, I don't think, has any formal training, and that's why it was so much better, was because the system is there to basically train you how to conform to their controlled paradigm that is a micromanaging system. I would liken it to the new Lego movie that has an excellent message. And I literally had 3 people when I walked out separately say, I thought you made this movie. I can't believe this. I'm like, no, I didn't make this movie. People that want freedom made this movie and got it out. And now that all of Hollywood is rebelling at every level, they're having trouble putting their message out. Plus, all their anti-freedom movies don't make money now. The revolution's on, folks, but side issue. Everywhere I look at stuff, because I track the news, that Drudge may end up happening. And there's other huge websites out there, but they don't know how to make a story big because they don't know how to pick stories that are really big. Drudge knows when something's important. That's why it becomes big, because it deserves to be big. Guarantee the same reason Drudge links to us all the time, because the stories are not being reported by others, and we're breaking it, and we're credible. We make occasional mistakes, and we own up to it when we do, but we're trying to tell the truth, so we're on the Drudge Report routinely. And then I'm just here reading out of the Washington Free Beacon. This has come out of the archive of Hillary papers that no one else will report on but the Washington Beacon, so now it's on Drudge, and now the media will be forced to cover it. And it's so good to not be able to have them ignore us. It's so good to not have these crooks be able to suppress us anymore. And guess what? It turns out that in May of 1992, Stan Greenberg and Celinda Lake, top pollsters for Bill Clinton's presidential campaign, issued a confidential memo. The memo's subject was research on Hillary Clinton. And guess who they were worried about? Their conclusion was voters find slick in Bill Clinton, they find ruthless in Hillary. Fast forward to the mid-90s, they were circulating memos about Matt Drudge, saying, do we take Matt Drudge seriously? 6 months later, Drudge would break the story of an affair between Clinton and 22-year-old White House intern Monica Lewinsky, setting in motion the events that would lead to the president's impeachment. And then it goes into it up here. It was the reports of him raping women, which he settled these cases, by the way. You don't settle stuff you didn't do. in almost every case. Sometimes people do, but in Clinton's case, it happened over and over and over and over again. And I remember all these. This was in the Clinton Chronicles. It was coming out about Tyson Foods, the payoffs, Cattlegate, all of it. And Drudge would simply find these reports regionally, post links to them, or if the newspaper didn't even have a site, he would just write a blurb about what was in that local paper. And then, it totally shook up Clinton and almost shot down their disgusting dynasty. And then it goes over in this report, just all the horrible things they did in the Hillary papers to try to suppress the press and anybody that would dare challenge the Clintonistas. And listen, there's a lot of bad people in Washington. But, I mean, the Clintons, I'm sick of looking at them. I'm tired of them. They're disgusting. I think it was CJ said that, and I think he's right, he bets Bill Clinton dies, that they kill him and claim he had a heart attack or something when Hillary starts to run, just because they're not going to want him as a political diversion. And the sympathy factor. Message to Bill Clinton. You already look like a reanimated corpse walking around from all the drugs you've used and the 10,000 women you've had sex with. God knows how many diseases you've got, you rapist. Message to you. I bet you better watch your six, because they're going to want that sympathy vote. And I think you're right. I think they'll try to kill Bill Clinton. I really want to talk about that on air, CJ. Turn your mic on. Because we got a lot of CJs. We got Chris Jordan. We got CJ. We got we call some people Mo around here. It's just because we got so many. We got 3 CJs or something.
There's plenty of us.
There's plenty of us. So why do you think that, for the sympathy vote?
Well, I think she's the obvious candidate because it's what the media is building up. And I think that's the easiest way to usher him in, or to usher her in, is to get the sympathy vote. That way it's plausible, and the machines do the voting anyhow.
That's right. But, America, and it's the first woman. Why are you against women, Alex? Turn your guns in. Except by then, Obamacare will be 4 times more expensive than the previous. Except 4 times over. Except turning your guns in. Except 5-year-olds being taught to dress like girls and the girls like boys. Except forced inoculations. Why do you hate women, Alex? Why do you hate... CJ, why do you hate women to say something like that? I mean, she's a known lying criminal witch that sold out our missile secrets to China and undoubtedly was involved in the murder of Vince Foster and covers up for the serial rapist Bill Clinton, and they steal pension funds everywhere they're involved. They're total criminals. Why? Just support Hillary. Be trendy. You want a bumper sticker for Hillary, buddy?
Sure. And Michelle and for Chelsea.
Now, you better like Michelle, pal. You better think she's beautiful because the news media said it. Doesn't matter if she looks like a reanimated vampire snapping turtle. I mean, that woman's like a crazed demon. I mean, bow down to Michelle Obama. I'm going to do it right now.
All right, Abel.
I think Michelle Obama is the sexiest, coolest, most powerful woman I've ever seen. And the only reason I said those things about her earlier is because I'm jealous of her. Man, even when I'm joking, lying feels bad. Literally, I just felt ill, and my high on life just went down like 20 points. I apologize. I shouldn't even be sarcastic. Ugh, disgusting. Look at Hillary on Drudge Report right now. Just literally, we're ruled by this sickening, manipulative crone. And if we just admitted she was evil and a con artist and a sickening snake and just rejected her. When she was in the car going in to meet with Obama at Bilderberg during the election in 2008, and the Secret Service held up the MP5. The Secret Service guy looked like a little boy, like he was 25. He had his tie on and everything, and he lifted it up like it was going to scare me, like, ooh. And I'm standing there protesting with a bullhorn in my hand, doing nothing. And like, we're wearing suits, and we're with the government and have earpieces, and look at my gun. Look at my soul, how much bigger it is than yours. Look at how much more honorable and manly I am than you, little boy. You think I'm afraid of your little gun? Strike me down right now, fool, and I will literally become 1,000 times bigger, moron. Beating tyranny is what it's all about. Securing the future for humanity is what it's all about. Little boy in your tie with your earpiece, talking to yourself, walking over, trying to intimidate us. The Marines they had flipping us off, trying to set us up, trying to intimidate us. You're a bunch of cowards. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. It'd be one thing if you were guarding these crooks and did it, but to enjoy it and act like we're the enemy because we want to expose a secret meeting that none of the horror press would cover. You know who did cover that 98 meeting? The Drudge Report. And so that's why I love the Drudge Report, because of the courage. And believe me, there is a lot of courage to do this. I get harassed. I guarantee you Drudge does as well. It doesn't matter. Doing the right thing is what it's all about. Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support infusion blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com.